Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Now, are you interested about Australian visa, migration, and perhaps study abroad in Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the little bell on the side, so once we got all the updated news, you shall be the first one of getting all the inside updates. Okay, now obviously today is the first day back since the holiday. So happy New Year 2021, and there is definitely an update for you. So it's coming from Western Australia in regards to the skill migration. So I guess there will be a lot of people been pending for 2020 or probably been waiting since 2019 and wanting to know more about what's gonna come up with all the criteria, and should you be able to meet the eligibility and be accepted and invited for skilled migrants. Now, let's take a look what Western Australia actually offer for 2021. Okay, so as you can see, you can actually Google this and find this web page. It's the Western Australia's immigration's website, where they have the latest news came out. Obviously, that's right today, so it's right hot there. So let me read through and getting you through all the new occupation lists, whether or not you will be able to meet the requirement. Okay, so invitation applied to state nominated migration program will resume in January 2021. So that's now. The Western Australia state nomination criteria has been revised in line with the state health and economic recovery priority. Obviously, that's due to the pandemic that we have all faced in 2020, and hopefully 2021 will be a better one with vaccines around. The change of the criteria are as follows. So the intending applicant, so if you're interested, that means must be currently residing in Australia and be invited, be nominated. So if you are offshore again, I've been reading through a lot of comments and other people that are interested in migrate to Australia and they are currently offshore. Unfortunately, you can't take. They won't take it. So my question to people who are not in Australia, the answer to people not in Australia is you gotta wait until at least July 2021. So I don't think the first half of year will actually start accepting offshore applicants. So not yet. Okay, and also the intending applicants subject to Section 48 bar are not eligible for state nomination. So what does that mean? So Section 48 bar basically meant that you are within a marriage review or judicial review procedure, or perhaps you are currently unlawful. You don't have a current substantial visa. Obviously you gotta leave. Okay, you gotta leave the Australian. Okay, if you're applying through graduate stream and due to COVID-19 and you complete some of your Western Australian studies online, okay, whether either onshore or offshore, you are now able to use this study towards Western Australian study requirements. So very good. So if you have been studying online or offline, onshore or offshore during the year of 2020, that can be counted as well. Okay, and now visit occupation page. That's exactly where we're gonna go. Okay, and the rest of it, that will be the news previously. So let's jump into the next page, which is the updated occupation list for Western Australia. So let's have a look. If you can see this clearly, let me move this a little bit to the center. Okay, now applicants who have nominated occupation identified on the Western Australia Skill Migration Occupation List, WASMOL. Now that's really hard to actually pronounce it. So WASMOL or Graduate Occupation List, GOL, may be eligible for Western Australian state nomination. So what's the differences between the Western Australian Skill Migration Occupation List and Graduate Occupation List? We'll take a look what that really meant. So here we go. It's all accessible for both subclass 190 and subclass 491, and the WASMOL is available for applicant intended to use general stream, and the The GOL, the graduate available are intended to be used for graduate stream. To determine your eligibility, you need to see the criteria, and which we will take a look later on. Okay, so note of using the occupation list. So it's all available at the moment, so you can see the status. Now, regional WA only, regional. Okay, so let's have a look. Candidate nominated for occupation that are designated in regional Western Australia only in the general or graduate stream must provide evidence of job offer. So you need to provide a job offer or contract you've been working there, or you are intended to work there in those locations in the category 3 regional centers, which will be the postcode of these one. So 604-126-044, 6084, 6207, 6213, 6215, 26537, 650, 6026770. Now that may not mean anything, but if you're in those postcodes, that is what they call the designated region of Western Australia. Okay, the occupation identifier do not relate to any specified vacancy nor representing graduate job. So what they're trying to do is it doesn't mean that apply through the immigration of Western Australia you'll get a job. Okay, so they basically is reflect to what the status the Western Australia require. Okay. Obviously, you're required to get skill assessed. That's pretty obvious. For all the skill migrants, you need to get skill assessed. Without skill assessments, you cannot do anything. Okay, now let's have a look. This is the WASMOL, the Western Australian Skill Migration Occupation List. So it has audiologist, this is very hard to pronounce, gastroenterologist. I'm not too sure if I pronounce it right. And as you can see, they are all available for 190 and 491. Some of them is available for regional Western Australia only. Okay, so we can see those part where they show why. So we can see midwife, general practitioners, neurosurgeons. These are all the doctors and nurses and the physicists. And registered nurse, they are only a few type of registered nurse, although they are quite a number, but it doesn't cover every registered nurse. So start from 254413. So 254412, 254411 is not there. So it only covers registered nurse for child, family, community, critical care, mental health, and so on and so forth. So they doesn't cover other type of registered nurse here for the WASMOL list, unfortunately. So as you can see, these are all for medical purposes. So it follows with the interim. Although Western Australia did not open for any interim allocations, but you can see that they all focus on one. Now, the graduate occupation list, I think it's much larger and it's better. And let's have a look. So we start with, accountant. Amazing, they still got an accountant. However, you can do that, but the status is closed at the moment. I'm not too sure why. If you can do it, why? If it's already closed, why we posting on it? Anyhow, the pilot is closed as well. Aeronautical engineer available, agricultural consultant available, agricultural engineer, agricultural scientist, technicians, and the architects, audiologist, baker. Now it's closed. Architect is also closed as well. So let's we gotta be very careful while we're watching it here. A barrister and baker are closed, so you can't do it, but it's available. But it's not available. It's closed, but you can do it once they open. I think that's what they're trying to say. Biotech, beef cattle farmer, builder inspector, cafe restaurant manager. It's available. So wow, that's pretty cool. Chef still open. Okay. Chemical engineer, chemist, civil engineer, commodity trader. I'm not too sure. I never done any commodity trade. It's closed. I guess because there's a lot of minings in Western Australia. That's why they have this kind of occupation there. The community computer conference, construction project manager, dairy cattle farmer, dental specialists, developer programmers. So this is very wide. I mean, this is more for people who actually study in Western Australia and graduated there. Trainer is closed. Early childhood teacher closed. Education psychologist closed. I'm not too sure why they do that. Okay. Electrical open, available. Engineer manager, environmental health, environmental manager, and these brokers, financial, all the financial sectors are all closed, and only finance manager. Wow, interesting. Where they have all the finance closed while the finance manager is available. Okay, continue on. Funeral workers. Wow. Okay, I'm not too sure how you can graduate as a funeral worker there. Um, and the geologist, helicopter pilot closed, pharmacist available, horse trainer closed now, HR manager, ICT project manager, industrial engineer, insurance broker closed, interpreter is still open. And the management accountant is closed, so all the accountants are basically closed. Engineers are all available, and I can see that engineer, IT people are all available, and probably going down towards all the medical, and also nurses. I think we're gonna hit nurses very soon. School principal closed, secondary, so all the teachers are closed for Western Australia at this point in time. They are not lack of teachers now, so and sheep farmers and social workers are open. Solicitor closed, so same as barristers. So all the legal professions are closed. Structural engineer, supply distribution manager, surveyor available, accountant closed, teacher closed. Telecommunication engineer available, translator available. I think that's only for 491. Vets people available, and again teachers, youth worker, all the teaching related are all closed. So that's what we have here. Now jumping into, oops, I'm to show that that is actually working. That web page is not working there. Oh, okay, here we go. So the looking into the general stream requirement that we're looking at, and compared to general stream and the graduate stream, you need to be living in Australia, so general stream, meeting the department requirement. That's the basics, and meeting the English requirements. Okay, you need to have at least you need to show proficient in your occupation, group 1 and group 2. Okay, so they got a higher bar on the English requirement than the immigration proposal with competent English. That's you got to be 7. So you can see here you need to be at 7, and need to meet the work experiences requirement. So at least 1 year working. So that's a general stream. So that's not the graduate stream. So need to provide contract. That's why we have reflect back to the very first page. And occupation designated for regional Australia only. So again, that's all the postcode, demonstrate sufficient settlements. You need to show that you have some money in order to settle there. So that's the general stream, and the graduate stream basically will, let's have a look at the graduate stream. So the graduate stream basically meant that you have been studying in Western Australia. You've been living in Australia, are eligible for the Western Australia state nomination. You will provide following document, another relevant document, your current address. So you need to show that you've been living there. You're not eligible for state nomination from Western Australia. So if you get barred, okay. Now English requirement, again, required to be proficient and a Western Australian qualification. So again, you need to show that you've been studying there. So obviously you've been living there. You can't literally study in a university of in Western Australia and living in Sydney. I don't think that will work. Okay, and you need to be getting one of the following qualification from accredited education from Western Australia and meet the accreditation requirement outlined below. So a university or higher education qualification, this include PhD, Masters, Bachelor and higher degree, or vets. Okay, at least 2 years study in Western Australia, so you need to live and study there. accredited Western Australian University higher degree. So again, that would meet the same requirement. So it has to be a university or college or TAFE that provides you a COE, which you can get a student visa. So you can get a student visa and study in Western Australia. Obviously, you meet all these requirements. And evidence required. You need to show the award, certificates, transcripts, results, a letter from your education provider. That's the completion letter. COE, that's what we just talked about. Meeting the work experience and employment contract requirement, you must have. So the two stream is different. One general required to have at least 1 year. Now the graduate required to demonstrate you have at least 6 months of Australian work experiences in your nominated occupation or 6 months of contract employment in your nominated close occupation in Western Australia. You need to show 6 months of work experiences in there in order to actually gain that the graduate stream. So again, that's and those stuff are or the general stuff. It's the same as the general stream. So basically, Western Australia offers the general stream are more for people might not be being studied in Western Australia, maybe on a working visa at the moment, and they wanted to move into Western Australia. In ways of these all medical and nurses people, and if you have been studying in Western Australia, then that will be the graduate stream. So we will go into the GOL, the graduate occupation list. So that's the list that we have just been through, the second one. So anyway, are you in those lists? Maybe you can get all these potential invites. Now make sure that the Western Australia only accept people who has IELTS 7, proficient English level, and the general stream requires at least 1 year work experience, and the graduate only requires 6 months. Anyhow, should you have any more query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.